Deborah Borchardt in Warwick, New York, where iAnthus and Sativa are breaking ground for their new medical marijuana facility.
New York has a very restrictive medical marijuana program, and while some towns are very much against it, Warwick, New York is embracing it.
Local challenge is always the hardest, and people always come to me and they say, aren't you afraid about the regulatory risk? And they're always talking about Trump or Sessions. And it's the local community piece. In some communities, it's just NIMBY. You're not going to get in there ever. And what was so nice about the Warwick area in Orange County in particular was how inviting they were from a partnership perspective to actually develop the business park here. And we found that very refreshing.
Our roots are in agriculture. We're still primarily an agricultural economy here in Warwick, even though we've grown a lot. And we looked at it as just another facet of that this was an agricultural-based business. And it was spilling over into the medical field, but we'd had a lot of personal experiences with people who have explored trying to get medical marijuana and with success. Yeah, its history is in the 30s it became a boys' school to rehabilitate children from New York City. And it operated very successfully like that. In fact, Eleanor Roosevelt and President Roosevelt dedicated it because it was a pet project of theirs. So from the 30s to the 60s, it operated as a training school for boys. And then it closed when the drug culture, ironically, exploded. And then a few years later, New York State opened it as a correctional facility. They operated as such from the 70s until 2011 when the fiscal crisis was embracing New York. And the governor decided he needed to shut some facilities, and he closed it abruptly. We lost 400 jobs, which were good jobs, and we had this huge piece of property, and we said, are we going to let the state do what they always do, which is let the property languish and deteriorate, or are we going to take our destiny in our hands? It was first a place where they incarcerated, among other things, drug offenders, and now we're realizing that potentially the cannabis, medical cannabis market is going to have huge benefits, especially in light of the opioid issue. If it doesn't work for everyone, but for those that it does, it's remarkable. And if we can get people off of that opioid addiction, we want to do that.
I mean, hopefully when this is completed several years from now, we'll have 250,000 square feet of production and processing, and it'll provide cannabis for medical patients throughout the state of New York. It's our only one in New York, so by definition it'll be the largest. But if we build out the full 250,000 square feet, it'll be our largest facility in the United States. And actually, that size of the United States, from a legal perspective, is actually quite rare. It would probably put us in the top 10 of facilities in the United States.
iAnthus plans to begin producing product out of the facility by late 2019 and ultimately bringing over 100 jobs to Warwick, New York.
We're committed in Warwick to making this site overwhelmingly successful, and we're thrilled that Sativa and iAnthus are going to be our anchor project here.
I'm Deborah Borchardt reporting for the Green Market Report from Warwick, New York.